I am continuing my reading. What I'm doing in this series is to read through the entire standard works of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This consists of the Bible, the Book of Mormon, the Doctrine and Covenants, and the Pearl of Great Price. I am reading in a chronological order of events, not according to publication or volume, so I will be skipping around a bit as I move along. Continuing in Isaiah, this will be chapter 51. In the last days the Lord shall comfort Zion and gather Israel. The redeemed shall come to Zion amid great joy. I also want to mention that this video does have a Joseph Smith translation in it. What the Joseph Smith translation is, this is an inspired translation or correction of the Bible done by Joseph Smith to restore those passages that had been lost over the years. Hearken to me, ye that follow after righteousness, ye that seek the Lord. Look unto the rock whence ye are hewn, and to the hole of the pit whence ye are digged. Look unto Abraham your father, and unto Sarah that bare you. For I called him alone, and blessed him, and increased him. For the Lord shall comfort Zion. He will comfort all her waste places, and he will make her wilderness like Eden, and her desert like the garden of the Lord. Joy and gladness shall be found therein, thanksgiving and the voice of melody. Hearken unto me, my people, and give ear unto me, O my nation. For a law shall proceed from me, and I will make my judgment to rest for a light of my people. My righteousness is near. My salvation is gone forth, and mine arm shall judge the people. The isles shall wait upon me, and on mine arm shall they trust. Lift up your eyes to heaven, and look upon the earth beneath. For the heavens shall vanish away like smoke, and the earth shall wax old like a garment. And they that dwell therein shall die in like manner. But my salvation shall be forever, and my righteousness shall not be abolished. Hearken unto me, ye that know righteousness, the people in whose heart is my law. Fear ye not the reproach of men, neither be ye afraid of their revilings. For the moth shall eat them up like a garment, and the worm shall eat them like wool. But my righteousness shall be forever, and my salvation from generation to generation. Awake, awake, put on strength, O arm of the Lord. Awake as in the ancient days, in the generations of old. Art thou not it that hath cut Rahab, and wounded the dragon? Art thou not it which hath dried the sea, and the waters of the great deep, that hath made the depths of the sea a way for the ransom to pass over? Therefore the redeemed of the Lord shall return, and come with singing unto Zion, and everlasting joy shall be upon their head. They shall obtain gladness and joy, and sorrow and mourning shall flee away. I, even I, am he that comforteth you. Who art thou, that thou shouldest be afraid of a man that shall die, and the Son of Man which shall be made as grass? And forgettest the Lord thy Maker, that hath stretched forth the heavens, and laid the foundations of the earth, and hast feared continually every day because of the fury of the oppressor, as if he were ready to destroy. And where is the fury of the oppressor? The captive exile hasteneth that he may be loosed, and that he should not die in the pit, nor that his bread should fail. But I am the Lord thy God, that divided the sea, whose waves roared. The Lord of hosts is his name. And I have put my words in thy mouth, and I have covered thee in the shadow of mine hand, that I may plant the heavens, and lay the foundations of the earth, and say unto Zion, Thou art my people. Awake, awake, stand up, O Jerusalem, which hast drunk at the hand of the Lord the cup of his fury. Thou hast drunken the dregs of the cup of trembling, and wrung them out. There is none to guide her among all the sons whom she hath brought forth. Neither is there any that taketh her by the hand of all the sons that she hath brought up. These two things are come unto thee. Who shall be sorry for thee? Desolation and destruction, and the famine and the sword. By whom shall I comfort thee? Thy sons have fainted. They lie at the head of all the streets, as a wild bull in a net. They are full of the fury of the Lord, the rebuke of thy God. Therefore hear now this, thou afflicted and drunken, but not with wine. Thus saith thy Lord, the Lord. Thus saith thy Lord, the Lord, and thy God that pleadeth the cause of his people. Behold, I have taken out of thine hand the cup of trembling, even the dregs of the cup of my fury. Thou shalt no more drink it again, but I will put it into the hand of them that afflict thee, which have said to thy soul, Bow down, that we may go over. And thou hast laid thy body as the ground, and as the street to them that went over. This has some interesting imagery again. I do like the awake, and put on strength. Awake, Jerusalem. So he's saying, in the past, you've drunken the dregs of the bitter cup there. You've been persecuted, you have been driven, you have been oppressed, but in the last days God will come and free all Israel. Gather Israel together, restore them as a nation, and bring them back to their own lands. Now that's the basic message here. So we're going to leave that here. I don't really want to make any comments here. The message is fairly straightforward for this chapter. But there are a number of Joseph Smith translations, so let us read those real quick. First, in verse 1. The King James says, Hearken to me, ye that follow after righteousness, ye that seek the Lord, look unto the rock whence ye are hewn, and to the hole of the pit whence ye are digged. Joseph Smith, this is just a grammatical correction, I think it says, Hearken unto me, ye that follow after righteousness, and then look unto the rock from whence ye were hewn, and to the hole of the pit from whence ye are digged. So just a grammatical change there. Verse 4, we have this, the last clause of the verse in the King James says, And I will make my judgment to rest for a light of the people. Joseph Smith renders this, And I will make my judgment to rest for a light thing of the people. That's an interesting change. That actually does change the meaning, because rather than being a light would signify guiding principles. The judgment guides the people. No, this is a light thing, meaning that it's somewhat meaningless or inconsequential. So I think this would make it mean that it's going to be common among the people. It'll be a light thing. The people will kind of follow the law instinctively, given the context of the verse. Verse 7 here, we have, Hearken unto me, ye that know righteousness, the people in whose heart is my law. Joseph Smith corrects this to the people in whose heart I have written my law. Not a huge change, but verse 11, Therefore the redeemed of the Lord shall return and come with singing unto Zion, and everlasting joy shall be upon their head. They shall obtain gladness and joy, and sorrow and mourning shall flee away. So we have this, and everlasting joy and holiness shall be upon their head. They shall obtain gladness and joy, sorrow and mourning shall flee away. So there's some grammatical corrections here, but I like that. Everlasting joy and holiness shall be upon their head. They will be sanctified in the millennium. I think that's an important detail. Verse 12 opens up here, says, I, even I, am he that comforteth you. Who art thou, that thou shouldest be afraid? But we got Joseph Smith corrects this. I am he, yea, I am he that comforteth you. Behold, who art thou? So, minor grammatical alteration there. Verse 16, the last clause, And say unto Zion, Thou art my people. Joseph Smith corrects this, And say unto Zion, Behold, thou art my people. Again, minor grammatical change there. Verse 18 in the King James begins with, There is none to guide her among all the sons. Joseph Smith's correction, and none to guide her among all the sons. So, again, just grammatical correction. Verse 19, These two things are come unto thee. Who shall be sorry for thee? Desolation and destruction, and the famine and the sword. By whom shall I comfort thee? Joseph Smith renders this, These two sons are come unto thee. Who shall be sorry for thee? Thy desolation and destruction, and the famine and the sword. And by whom shall I comfort thee? The two sons, now we have this referring almost certainly to the two kingdoms, Judah and Jerusalem. And then verse 20, Thy sons have fainted, they lie at the head of all the streets. Then it says instead, Thy sons have fainted, save these two. Honestly, that is an interesting, that reminds me of Revelation and the two prophets, the two witnesses that will testify and defend Jerusalem for 2.5 years. But I'm not quite sure what that means, really. We'll leave that here. See you in the next one.